Oh, I need to get that pack of Oreos off.
So if you think what we've done up until now is redneck, this is going to take the cake.
Sick. Today begins the most interesting part of this wiring build on the Spragen Built Customs truck. So here on the table we have 3 fuse boxes. These are both GEPs and this is a Bussmann. Now these will all 3 serve different purposes. This little guy here is the GEP 24 position fuse box, and it is going to be the fuse box that we use to control the compressors for the air ride. So we're going to start with this guy. And in the middle here, we have a GEP 72 position fuse box. This fuse box here is actually just going to be essentially a lighting control module. It will control the brake lights, rear turn, front halo running lights, and the hazard lights. And this big guy here is the main fuse box. This is the one that will be under the hood. This is where all of the fuses will be. This fuse box has space for 40 fuses, 10 relays, and 4 spare fuses. It also has dual bus bars on the back that control all the fuses on one side and all the fuses on the other. So we're going to make use of this with a constant power and a switch power bus bar in here. So that's a little complicated. So this will probably get its own video, but we might start touching on it in this one. But this video definitely will be about the compressor control and the lighting control. First things first, we are going to build the compressor control box. So with that being said, it's time to start the time lapse and get to work. Here's what this looks like. There are 2 identical circuits. We have power coming in through the red. This is an 8 gauge, splitting off into 2 10 gauges. Those 10 gauges go into the 30 amp fuses, then loop out of the 30 amp fuses to pin 30 on the relays. If you remember pin 30, then it's connected to pin 87. This is 87 for compressor 1. This is 87 for compressor 2. Now all the small wires, they start here. You'll notice this one is called control logic positive. We will get to that in that fuse box, but for now, we're just going to call that switched power for the control side of these things. That goes into the 3 amp control logic fuse there, the little purple guy. Then it comes out, goes into this junction, splits into 2, and then that goes to the positive side of the coil on each of these relays, pin 85. Now you'll notice that the ground side for these relays is not included in here. That is because it is currently hanging out of the rear chassis harness. That is the gray wires in the last video that you saw. Those will come in here and we'll turn those relays on and off. From there, it's just going to be getting these into the DTP connectors, getting this looped into the switch logic for start, and then this guy getting it cut to length and putting a ring terminal on the end of it that fits the battery post. The next thing we're going to work on is the lighting control. This is what we're going to need to wire in order to make all the lights work the way I want them to work. Now it's time to turn this relatively neat drawing into what is hopefully a relatively neat wiring system.
We're back out here at Adam's shop. First one we're going to tackle is the rear compressor control harness.
As far as I can tell, this area is done. Don't mind this right now. I'll explain that in a minute, but we have the fuse box in. We have the switched power to control these, so when the truck is starting or the ignition is off, these don't have power, so these lose power two different ways. One, they lose power on the power side because the truck is off, and then they lose power on the ground side because this thing gets power cut. So got that done. We got the two connectors for the pumps on down there. Got the grounds made, and we're gonna try and experiment. We tried to use the power supply to hook up the air ride system and get everything running, and we've spent the last 20-25 minutes trying to figure out why the compressors wouldn't kick on, and we finally realized that little power supply, we finally found its limit, and it couldn't provide enough amperage to kick the pump on, and it was faulting out. So, and that only happened because Adam was just going to walk upstairs and happened to notice the controller on the front tire turned off. So what we're going to do now is just go straight to the battery and see if it works. Are you going to try? There we go. We got power. Get a chance to get all the sharks away from the tank.
Yeah. There we go. It's going 24.1 amps.
So that means this thing must be drawing about 5 now. I see the lines kicking. There's air coming out of it. There we go. Oh yeah. Good?
Good.
All right.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good deal.
Well, that felt good to see the air ride running up and down.
For sure.
All right, so we are finally at the point where it's time to start on the firewall harness, and this is the lighting control harness again. So we are going to find a spot inside this puppy to mount this thing and then start running these wires around, and that will kind of start, I don't know, initiating where we're going to start running the leads for the firewall harness. Now the timing is convenient because Adam has the dash back out of it, and we are going to mount this little fuse box. I haven't said this yet, but we do have an anteater controller, which is for the transmission, that also needs to mount to this panel. So I'm wondering if we don't just go ahead and start mounting everything right to this panel and just have this be like kind of a control panel. Don't joke with Adam's wife about getting your Oreos, that's for sure. Look out! That door's coming closed. These are mine. You get out of here.
There you go, Max.
Well, thanks for the snacks. This is everything I have to mount to the firewall. Not necessarily like that, but I think it'll be more like that. We're going to try to mount it all right there, and it looks like the radio is above the doghouse, so it looks like I've got all the space I could possibly need to mount all this stuff. No, I've been milling around the shop, eating my Oreos. Thanks again, Chelsea.
I'm looking at the back of this dash. And I just realized I ordered an antenna for this thing, and I brought it out here. And I don't know where it's at. Well, that's frustrating. Calls for no Oreo. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna drill some holes. Gonna get started on the firewall harness, but he was working on the front bumper, so I had to get something done first. So he's over there working on that bumper. That is a stout unit. And then in order for him to get it on here, he's going to be drilling some holes and maybe doing a little bit of welding down there. So I wanted to get this harness tucked up in here, and I think it turned out really nice, actually. Two things aren't done. One, I'm going to get some grommets for this, so they're just kind of packed in there for now. And then these guys need a screw to go through the nacelle tapper into the headlight bucket there to kind of keep them up top. So when it's done, it'll look like that with a grommet on here. And then everything's labeled right front. This is probably, yeah, just labeled right. Probably kind of doesn't really need that one. I might clip that off, but anyway, let's go around the other side. This side has the connector that goes to the truck, and it's just kind of up in here. I'll probably tape it for now just to keep it out of the way while he's working, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Right now, here's what we need to do. Currently the dash is out. I have some things up in here currently on this kind of like gonna be a control panel, so you'll have to kind of do this mentally, but the anteater is gonna sit right there. This controls the transmission. It's made by Firepunk, and it burn yourself? Oh, tack helper's gonna go right there. So this, oh, if it works, this will kind of be like the engine control area. Then this is the resto mod airbox. It's not level, and that's been waking me up at night. So we're gonna fix that, but we're gonna worry about some more, what I'm looking for, pressing items for now. And this guy right here, this is the lighting control box I made. We're kind of running wires to and from that right now. But basically what we need to do is start running wires from point A to point B. So what that means for us is we know where this IP1 is going to be generally. So we're going to be taking this thing off of these connectors and putting this back in the truck and pinning all of these pins, wires, terminals, and then we're going to run the length of lead that we need to go from there out to wherever it needs to go. So like the wipers, we know are going to be coming from the IP1 through and then out to the wipers. So what we're going to do is basically put the spool inside, pull the wire through out here, zip tie it with a couple extra inches, and then clip it inside, bring it back out and put it in that connector. And then repeat that process 400,000 times. Giving them to me? For me? Thanks, man. Yep. That's my step bit. Sucks.
I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll just give a set to Brett.
Did one of them do the whole thing?
Yeah.
So this is the front bumper he's been working on. And just so you know, the Hercules bit drilled all those holes.
All 29 of them. from and it took, that was my starter bit, which is 3/16. So 3/16 start, and then this went all the way through.
Just until it made it in there.
Yep.
These Oreos have come in clutch, dude. You have no idea. Well, that's substantial. That's tucked.
That's tucked.
Man, that thing looks good.
So you like it tucked, or where I was going to put it?
I gotta be honest, I can't decide, but I think I know who should. It really does look great. I like it like this.
Well, that's the way it was before.
Yeah.
It was out. But the tuck does look pretty good too. So
I need to get that pack of Oreos off the way.
for me, building cab mounts or I like doing big metal stuff like that. That's what's fun.
We could not be any more opposite.
That's why we work so well
That's
together.
must
That's
be.
what it is.
Must be. I can't believe how good that looks. In or out, but just the bumper itself up against the truck just looks incredible.